Hello viewer, welcome to yet another episode of Sugu. I'm your host, John Gige. Today's show is quite an amazing one because we'll be discussing all the FA action that happened and the Mashemeji derby that just happened over the weekend. We are also going to be touching on the transfer since the season is over and teams abroad are looking for players to fit in their squad. So stay tuned until the end of the show. Remember to watch this episode and the rest of the Sugu episode. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, that is GBS TV Kenya. To help me discuss all these stories, my panel is over here. Quite interesting panel because they were disagreeing with me on some other stories, yes. Especially the whereby we are having the summer transfers. Stay tuned. Let's get this started. Guys, karibu sana kwa show. Timo, naona umerepresent leo Jazzy.
Mbaya sana.
So, quite an interesting show today.
Yes, so
much. Whereby we saw Manchester City showing their dominance and showing why they retained the Premier League after thrashing Watford 6-0. Something that has never happened after a very, very, very long time, yes, in English Premier League. Yeah. We are also having Jeff in the studio. Quite interesting weekend. No action for Manchester United.
No action for Arsenal either.
But coming week, next week, we are going to be having Arsenal in action. That is the UEFA Europa League.
But I heard you complaining about where the final has been set. What is wrong with Baku?
Baku, it's all about Mkhitaryan.
But he was granted permission by the Azerbaijan sports minister. He was granted safety.
So that's another story. That's a story for another day. So Manchester United fans, I know they are looking forward to that final, which will be happening on 29th this month. It will be on Wednesday. And it's a North London derby affair. English teams, that is Arsenal versus Chelsea. We'll be looking on that story. Let's not go much deeper today. So Gor Mahia, once again showing their dominance and why they are the reigning champions of the Kenya Premier League after thrashing their fellow Mashemeji derby, that is the FC Leopards, 3-1. Gor Mahia, they're going to retain this title.
To be honest, personally, I feel like I'm tired of the Kenya Premier League.
Seeing the green everywhere.
Every time it's Gor Mahia, Gor Mahia, Gor Mahia.
But this time round, we had quite a good competition, yes, whereby we had the likes of
Kariobangi Sharks,
Sofapaka also, yes, Kariobangi Sharks, and also a little bit of which is this? Mathare United, yes. A little bit of Mathare United, but that faded away in the second leg of the games. But if a team is well, if a team has, what can we say? Managed well. Let's not say managed well. If it has a wide range of talent, what do you expect?
Some depth
in the squad. What do you expect?
The Kariobangi Sharks would do a lot. I felt an urge for them because they won a certain league not long ago, and I'm impressed. But for Gor Mahia, they did us proud.
Okay, Jeff, what is it that FC Leopards are not doing and Gor Mahia are doing?
I believe that game,
because in the past days, we were seeing these two teams really dominating, but I don't know what went wrong for FC Leopards.
For me, I don't feel it's like a Mashemeji derby anymore. Maybe it's because of the name, but when it comes to the game itself, it's drab. Gor Mahia dominated everything: goals, stats, passes. For me, Mashemeji, it's just about the hype that was there before. When AFC used to be
AFC Leopards, yeah.
But for now, AFC they've really dropped.
But they have the likes of Jesse Were, Paul Were, that is AFC Leopards.
I believe that they really need like an overhaul, a major overhaul. For us to see the AFC that we used to see back then, it needs to start from top to bottom. Maybe the management by itself, maybe their sporting director, their scouts, the method they scout players, how they tout them, how their method of bringing up the young players into the squad instead of buying maybe. But I believe they need
credit to
more.
Gor Mahia after they sold their leading striker, that is Medi Kagere, their lethal striker.
And it's
They're
because they had found another lethal striker in Jacques Tuisenga.
Yes. Also Tuiseng and also Kipkurui.
Yes.
He's such a good player. He even scored on yesterday's Mashemeji's derby. So we hope to see that in the next season we'll be seeing teams challenging Gor Mahia for this title. But we've been saying this time and time again, but we are only seeing that Gor Mahia is the only team that invests. So what needs to change in the Kenya Premier League, Timo?
According to me, the FKF needs to do a lot, because we are finding that teams are getting over I wouldn't say overexcited, but they're getting too tired, because it's like how the Spain fans are. It's all about Messi.
Yeah.
So in Kenya we have Gor all the time. Kogalo. So I guess the fear is instilling in them, because for me I felt Kariobangi Sharks would do us proud,
because were it not for Gor Mahia, I don't think there will be a Kenya Premier League.
No, because there's no other team. There's no other team that has
There's no other team that
is
really,
going to play a
yeah,
League.
that's true.
Premier
And
League.
the level at which Gor Mahia competes, it's a very high level, because we see them in the CAF Confederations Cup.
Yes.
Which other teams in the Kenya Premier League have not managed to reach?
True.
So
we can see as well, like, teams have dropped. There's a time Ulinzi Stars, they were the dominating champions. Tusker. Mathare as well. I don't know what has happened, because I think Gor Mahia, they are living up to their standards. For me, I would say even Kipkurui, he's somehow developing a character of Kefaswan. He's doing a lot. He did an amazing job yesterday.
okay, congratulations to Gor Mahia for winning the Mashemeji derby. We did their feature story, and can see that they are making us proud, and as the coach promised, the Kenya Premier League is their only focus this season, and they are doing so to make sure that they retain the league. There was also some action over the weekend, that is the English, in the England, but this time round it was not the English Premier League. We had the FA Cup, which is normally the curtain raiser. It's normally the game that finishes the league in England, whereby we had Watford versus Manchester City. Quite a thorough punishment for Watford. 6 goals to
That
nil.
wasn't a final.
It was another normal fixture. A rather friendly.
Another friendly. But before this fixture, Watford was being the odds were high that they will cause an upset for Manchester City, because they have shown it in the recent English Premier League games.
John, there's one thing you're mixing up. They were the odds were high for them to upset City, but
Not to beat City.
not to beat City. There's something you're confusing.
There's actually...
But we saw Wolves
No,
doing the unexpected.
to be honest, I would say it on live TV. For Watford, I think they were just... They were blessed. They won by chance, to be honest.
So you prefer that Wolves, if Wolves were in that competition,
I believe that game
we
would
could
have
have
been
seen
much different.
another difference.
But also Watford shot themselves in the foot. I believe that if Roberto Pereira had scored the goal he was
could
to
have,
score,
yeah.
it would have set the tempo for the game, and City will have, if they were to win, then they wouldn't have won with a very big margin as such.
And I don't know why Watford preferred to play their second goalkeeper, while Manchester City chose to play with Ederson.
That for Watford, it was a send-off.
They're trying to
for
commemorate
Aurelio
Manchester
Gomez.
United.
I know it's a send-off, but that's also a final.
Yes,
Exactly.
but
You don't take anything
No,
for
John, will
chances.
you imagine if by chance that Watford won? Will you imagine how good that Gomez would have felt?
I
By the
know,
way,
he would have
he would
felt
have
well.
felt as in he has achieved. Finally, he has achieved. He wants
But
to be
you
a pastor.
remember, it's always a matter of silverware we are talking
Watford
about.
in the entire, I believe in the entire. No, not in the entire actually, but in recent times they haven't won much of silver.
yeah.
And this was not either that time to win this cup.
Because if it was a final, it was a final game. The game would have just the test of the game ended when Man City scored the fourth goal.
We also saw Manchester City breaking a couple of records. That is Sterling scoring a hat-trick, something that
he stole a goal from Jesus.
True, both.
And Guardiola warned him.
2 goals actually.
Yeah.
Okay, we shall be coming to that story. Okay. Manchester City breaking a record of scoring more than 4 goals in a final, which was done by Blackpool in 1980. How has Sterling been this season? How can you rate Sterling?
Sterling has been quite a revelation.
But why didn't we see him winning the PFA Player of the Year?
I believe comparing Sterling with Van Dijk, with what Van Dijk has achieved, and Liverpool sitting second behind City, Van Dijk deserves it.
But to me...
But both of the players have been
you imagine
sensational.
Being second and not being able to win the league, being second with 97.97.
Those were days that you could have, I even don't know.
Yes. But in City, if you look at City, theirs was a collective effort. But if you look at Liverpool, you will pick out players that individually they were on form this season. The likes of Van Dijk and the front three.
But to me, Van Dijk is being overrated.
He's not
I actually see that because we have
not overrated.
We have world-class centre backs.
He's being compared with
but Van Dijk is being compared like to be the best of the best. We can see the likes of Koulibaly. Yes. We can see the likes of Sergio Ramos,
John,
Gerard Piqué.
When you're comparing players, we do compare them with stats.
Listen, Jeff. Gerard Piqué has been in this business for quite a very, very long time.
He's being compared to Carlos Puyol. How?
Exactly.
Have you looked at the stats this season?
I know he's the most expensive.
Yes. Not in terms of money, on the ground, in the pitch. The guy has had 76% of aerial dominance, the highest in all the 5 top-tier leagues.
But Mustafi, the criticized defender, had the most tackles than Van Dijk.
But has he controlled the defense the way Van Dijk controls his own defense? Has he?
The thing about this...
How many clean sheets do you have, John? Let's start from there. How many clean sheets do you have?
It's not a matter of clean sheets or what, or everything.
It's a matter of the defense.
I know a defender is being assessed by the number of clean sheets, number of tackles won, number of interceptions made.
Exactly. And Van Dijk has all those stats. If he didn't, then I believe he will not be anywhere amongst the top 5 defenders in the world.
For me, the thing that I'm disagreeing, Jeff, with is that he's being compared with only 1 season. And for me is that Van Dijk, only for 1 season, people are reigning him as a king. And if you look at the likes of Carlos Puyol, Nemanja Vidic, these guys have been in the industry for like a couple of years, and they were reigned to be the best for like 2 seasons or 3 seasons. For me, I'd say let's wait for next season.
Wait for another season.
So
we don't know if the next season.
John,
we don't know if the next season will be his failure season.
I believe Van Dijk deserves the credit he has. Imagine, okay, where did Carlos Puyol start his career from?
From way young.
Which team? As in, he came. Okay, I don't. Sikatai ametoka team ndogo, sio?
Yeah.
Now look at Van Dijk. He came from Celtic,
little
known by anyone. He made his mark in Celtic's win over Barcelona, where Wanyama still made his mark.
Exactly.
He came to Southampton. The first season he landed in Southampton, every English club in the top 5 started touting the guy. Why? He's performed at Southampton, not even at Liverpool, at Southampton.
But is it too early to... I think it's too early.
I don't think it's
too early to exaggerate that Van Dijk is better than the rest of the defenders that have been in this business. The likes of Sergio Ramos, a person who scores goals. I'm not saying that
it's too early for Mbappe to be rated, to be put alongside
Mbappe is a forward. You can't
Van
compare...
Dijk is a defender, making it much greater for him to be given credit where it's due.
But we started looking at Mbappe way back in Monaco.
Then we are looking at Van Dijk way back from Celtic.
But in Monaco, Mbappe
I know this debate can continue and continue. So viewer, don't go too far. We'll be right back after this break.